again, I'm Josh Coomber, and the infamous Casey is joining me today for our first vegetarian recipe podcast. Hi, Casey.
Hi.
So, what are we making today?
Today we're making quinoa breakfast omelette bites. It's not an official recipe, so I'm not exactly sure the name.
And how do we make these?
They're a combination of quinoa, eggs, vegetables, all mixed together and put into a muffin tin and then baked in the oven so that you have individual bites the size of muffins.
And which vegetables will we be using today?
Today I chose orange peppers, broccoli, and Roma tomatoes. And then I'm also adding some sriracha sauce and salt and pepper to taste.
Sounds delicious.
Yeah, we're just waiting for the quinoa to finish cooking right now. I just used a generic brand of quinoa and I rinsed it for a good 3 minutes in a really fine strainer. Quinoa gets a really harsh taste if you don't rinse it for a long time. Then it's cooking now, and to cook it I just used 2 cups of water to 1 cup of quinoa and brought it to a boil and then let it simmer for about 10 minutes. And now the quinoa's turned transparent and there's a little white spiral that comes loose on it, and that's just finishing up now, so we can add our quinoa to our eggs if you want to join me.
And have we done other prep work over here?
So far I have greased the muffin tins. I have cut up all the vegetables, so I've cut up about a half a cup of broccoli. I cut up a whole Roma tomato. I diced it, so I cut it into quarters, cut out the middle, and then cut it into really small pieces. And then I also broke up 3 eggs and I whisked them in a large bowl in order to make sure that the egg is properly mixed around when I add the quinoa and all the other ingredients, because if you add the egg afterwards you risk having parts of the yolk, parts of the white in different areas of your recipe. I think ideally for this recipe it would be good to make the quinoa about an hour beforehand to give it some time to cool, because if you were going to work with it with your hands at all it would be incredibly hot. But we're just going to use a whisk and a wooden spoon, so we should be okay. So we're just adding the quinoa into the bowl that already has the egg in it. And then I'm just going to add all of the vegetables. So it's the broccoli, tomato, and orange pepper. And we have some pre-shredded cheese here. So I'm just going to throw in a heaping handful of cheese because I'm an avid cheese lover. And I'm probably going to throw in about half another handful, maybe a quarter of a handful. Should we make these healthy? Just a little bit. Did you want to add some sriracha sauce to it?
Sure.
Just as much as you think is going to be good. Not too much. I know how much sriracha you love. If you put in a lot, that'll be really spicy.
How much is a lot?
That's good. Add some ground black pepper. And I don't think we'll need to add any salt because the sriracha is pretty salty.
Would this be considered a breakfast food, really?
Yeah, absolutely. If you use less egg with it as well, you can have it as a snack or a lunch or a dinner meal. You could have it with, I've had it with pizza sauce in the middle and cheese dipped in pizza sauce, and they're just called quinoa pizza bites, but it's the same concept. You use an egg to hold the quinoa together and you put in some vegetables with it.
Is this something you could eat every day?
I probably could. I honestly haven't had these breakfast cups before. I've just had the quinoa bites, but I'm sure these will be delicious. But there's a decent amount of prep work to this, and sometimes you just need to rush out the door with some cereal or something, so I don't know if I'd eat these every day. Alright, so this is all mixed up. So now we're going to add it to the muffin tray. We just have a small size muffin tray.
Sounds good.
And then we're going to bake them for 25 minutes, until the egg is fully cooked all the way through at 350.
So how long will these take to cook?
20 to 25 minutes. And then we have to let them cool down for a couple minutes before we mix them as well.
So it looks like they're done now. Still a little bit hot, but try a little bite of this. These are delicious.
Mm-hmm. They have a creamy taste to them. They're really good.
Well, thank you for joining us today, Casey.
Thanks for having me. It's been a lot of fun. I'm glad we got to try this new recipe.
And that was how you make quinoa omelette bites. If you want the recipe, you can find a link to the website down below. Thanks again for listening. I'm Josh Coomber, and that was Casey.
See you later.